Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with another fragrance video for you. I am going to do my PRADA Infusions perfumes. I have three. I started with the PRADA Infusions fragrances a very long time ago, probably 15 years ago, and I've just always loved them. They have kind of fallen off the radar. They were very, very popular, like I said, about 15 years ago. And you just don't see them as much anymore, but I still think they're fabulous and I want to review them for you. So I'm going to start with my very first PRADA Infusions that I got, which was the PRADA Infusions d'Iris. Most people are familiar with that one. It's sort of the original one. It's the one that came out first and it was very, very popular. So I had several bottles that I went through. I was wearing it almost exclusively for years. Like I said, about 10 or 15 years ago, I was just obsessed with it. And then I just kind of quit wearing it and quit buying it. And then I repurchased it again because I went into a PRADA store randomly about a year ago and I saw the PRADA Infusions line and they had them all there and they were so beautiful. And I smelled a couple of them and I was like, why am I not wearing these anymore? So I didn't buy them in the PRADA store because they were full price. I obviously went home and ordered them off FragranceNet, which is just what I do. So the very first one is this one that I fell in love with. This is PRADA Infusions d'Iris. This is obviously Iris. All of these PRADA Infusions fragrances have a very irisy feel to them. They're all kind of, I feel like they're all, even though they're completely different scents, they're almost kind of like flankers off of this one. So this was the fragrance that made me fall in love with Iris. I am still in love with Iris. Never fell out of love with Iris. This is a beautiful, beautiful powdery Iris. Iris can act in a lot of ways. It is a chameleon. I have some Iris fragrances that you would probably never know are Iris, but they are. And they're very deep and dark Iris. This is a very powdery, fluffy, fuzzy Iris. It is very feminine. It is feminine, but I will say that when this fragrance dries down on the skin, it pulls a little sexy because it's got that. Iris can be very, very sexy. And matter of fact, Iris is featured in some of the sexiest fragrances on the planet. I know there's one fragrance called Putin de Palaces, and it means palace whore. And it's supposed to be this very sexy fragrance, and it's loaded up with Iris. Another one that I have that is very sexy called Une Amourette is also loaded up with Iris. But this kind of starts off fluffy and girly and classy. But I feel like when this dries down, it does turn a little sexier because it's just Iris has that ability to do that. I just remember loving this fragrance to death, and it was a very cozy fragrance. I never wore this much in the summer. To me, this is more of a cozy fragrance, but I know a lot of people wear that. You can definitely wear this in the summer because if you just look at the bottle, it's green. It's got a little bit of freshness to it. It's just a flawless Iris fragrance. When I think of Iris perfumes, this is the first one that always comes to mind. Okay, so when I went to the store, I smelled another one that I just absolutely was obsessed with, and the bottle is just so beautiful. This is the orange Fleur d'Oranger. Oh, this bottle, when I saw it in the PRADA store, and the smell is absolutely gorgeous. So this is Orange Flower. Is also a chameleon. Orange Flower can go from anywhere from very fresh and fun and girly to very sexy. I think of something like Elie Saab is Orange Flower. There's so many orange flowers that are known as very, very sexy fragrances. This is not. This is a very playful orange blossom. It is very soapy. This is gorgeous. It's got that same DNA though of the PRADA Iris, of that kind of fuzzy quality, fuzzy, I don't know how to explain it. Cozy, comforting. So it's kind of a soapy, irisy, powdery, fluffy fragrance. This to me is, I should have put this in my hidden gem fragrances. I kind of regret that, because this is one of those orange flowers you just don't ever hear about. It's still being made because it was in the Prada store. This is just absolutely beautiful. I think a lot of women would really, really like this. This is mass appealing. There's nothing not to like about it. And like I said, it's kind of got that Prada DNA, the Prada Infusions line DNA, where it kind of has that fuzzy, powdery, kind of comforting smell to it in the base. The top of it is very soapy and happy. Love that. The other one I picked up, and they did not have this in the store. They are not making this anymore. This is the Rose. I am not a rose person at all. I do not like rose. Like Portrait of a Lady, no thank you. If y'all could know my story about Portrait of a Lady, I about suffocated on that fragrance. I did not like it. I can see why other people like it, but I just didn't like it. Rose is not my thing at all. But this Rose is amazing. This is just called Rose. So I think one of the reasons why I like this Rose is because it's Prada and it's in the Infusions line. And there's just a certain DNA that these fragrances have that I like. This is a very playful rose, a watery rose. Now, a watery rose I will like. I like Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. Sorry, I was thinking there was another word to it, but I like Amazing Grace by Philosophy. That's kind of a watery ballerina rose. This is like a ballerina rose. And if you look at the bottle, it kind of looks like a ballerina. This smells like a rose that's been sitting in water. It's a little gardeny. It kind of smells a little bit like a garden. But again, it's kind of got that. This has less fuzziness, less fuzzy powderiness than the other two, but very subtly in the background, it's there. It's this very enveloping. These fragrances will kind of envelop you and create I call it a perfume scarf. That's just what I call it. I mean, that may sound crazy, but this is a beautiful rose. For those of you out there that don't like heady roses and don't like the whole rose thing, but you kind of are drawn to rose at the same time, or you like Amazing Grace by Philosophy, I really think you're going to love this. This is a very playful, fun, a little tart rose. Beautiful. This has incredible longevity. I wore this a couple times, and I mean, it just was nuclear on my skin. It just stayed on forever. This, the rose one, I would try and grab if you're interested in it. I found it on FragranceNet, but it is discontinued. So whatever they have left, they sell out. They're going to be done. But they did have them on FragranceNet for a decent price. These Infusions lines are on FragranceNet for cheap and cheerful. So I grabbed the 3 that I wanted. But I just think these are not talked about enough. They're kind of a bygone era, but they're still relevant. They're still amazingly well-made fragrances. So I wanted to feature these on my channel. If you guys have any questions about the Prada fragrances, let me know. If you guys, there's like 8 or 9 in the collection. If you guys have any other ones that you like, or I tried the almond one that was really popular about 5 years ago. I did not like the almond one. I do not like almond in fragrances, but there were a bunch of others that I would love to try. I just grabbed these 3 when I was on FragranceNet. So if you guys have any experience with any of the other ones, let me know. If you guys are Prada fans, let me know. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you.